From setting the record for hitting the longest golf putt to attempting a hole-in-one from over a 600 feet tall bridge, here are the most insane records How Ridiculous has broken. The group first started doing trick shots in 2009, and soon enough, after a few years, they were met with major success coupled with multiple world records. This Aussie group is here to set the most ridiculous world records, and from the way they carry on, you might end up thinking that collecting records left and right doesn't take that much effort. But oh boy, one look at their golf putt video is all it'll take for you to change your mind. Speaking of, I think it's worth noting that golf isn't exactly their field of expertise. The Aussie YouTubers are particularly known for their basketball trick shots, but hey, looking at the results, I'll say they might try out golf more often now. The shot was made in 2017 when they took over the Point Walter golf course in Western Australia, hoping to break the previous record. Before they picked their clubs, the trio made sure to tell their viewers that putting wasn't exactly their favorite part of golf. And I guess that makes sense because it's super unpredictable. But I wonder if their opinion changed after they claimed the record. The video shows Brett Stanford making the historical shot at the 5th hole at the golf course. The shot was made at a distance of 120 meters. That's a little over the length of a standard American football field, including the end zones. How ridiculous is that? The team kept yelling, "Get in," as the ball sailed through the air toward the hole. And spoiler alert, it did just that. The Guinness World Records confirmed the shot, and later, Brett was seen in the video celebrating while holding his award tightly. Now guys, this was one hell of an achievement, because the previous record was long-standing. Did you know that Fergus Muir set the record back in 2001, 16 years before How Ridiculous broke it? At that time, Fergus was 66 years old. If that's not iconic enough for you, then let me add something. He used an 80-year-old hickory-shafted putter to make the shot at the par 3 5th hole at Eden Course in St Andrews, Scotland. At the time, Fergus made the record hole-in-one from a distance of 114.3 meters. Pretty cool, I know, but after holding on to the crown for 16 years, the man had to pass it on to the Aussie trio. And soon after, the How Ridiculous team landed yet another world record, but this time around, it was for one of their signature basketball trick shots. In 2018, the trio set the record for shooting a basketball from the greatest height. That's around 660 feet. And to accomplish this, the Aussies hopped on a plane and flew to Malatsiani Falls in Lesotho, Africa. Derek Heron made the shot while standing right next to the waterfall, aiming for the hoop hundreds of meters below him. But hold on, it gets crazier. This is the 5th time How Ridiculous has set this record. Seems like their #1 competition, Dude Perfect, keep on coming after them. And get this, after 25 hours of attempts and 900 tries, Dude Perfect broke their record in 2023 by shooting a basketball from over 856 meters. With all this going on, I think it's only fair to talk about their rivalry for a bit. It's safe to say that the two groups have been coming after each other pretty hard. The race for the record first started in 2011 when How Ridiculous broke the record with a spectacular ball shot from a little over 200 meters. I guess you could say that things have gone ridiculous after that. And coming back to their recent attempts, Dude Perfect took the record for them by shooting a basketball from a 533 feet long skyscraper. This time, the Aussie trio knew they had to think out of the box, so get this, they went wild and traveled to a dam in Switzerland, finally making a shot from a 593 foot height. And here's something that'll blow your mind. This shot only took 3 attempts to make. Okay, I'm not picking any favorites here, but judging from their previous experience, I'll go out on a limb and say that How Ridiculous has a pretty good chance of taking back the record. Still, the real question is, at what height will they finally stop? I think it's fine as long as they keep it entertaining and no one is shooting fire basketballs from space. And guys, this record and rivalry had the fans going crazy. I mean, it's not every day you see someone making a perfect shot from the top of a waterfall somewhere in Africa. And it usually doesn't lead to another group getting on a helicopter and shooting hoops from an 800-foot tall skyscraper. It's safe to assume that this record is a fan fave. It's like a gift that keeps on giving. One fan commented on the Aussie Trio's YouTube videos saying that it was a legit accomplishment, and it was crazy that the group was able to pull off such a stunt. Another asked the team to never stop what they're doing, since it was a constant source of entertainment. Well, they got that right. People also called out anyone who dared to say that all this was fake and simply done for views, defending the Aussies by calling them legends. I don't know about you, but I sure am waiting for how they clap back at Dude Perfect's recent record. Coming to their next attempt, this one is a little sad for the team. In August 2021, the trio tried something other than basketball, and while in the beginning it seemed like things were working out pretty well, it sadly didn't land them a record. Here's what happened. The trio and their crew headed to the RAC Arena in Perth, which has pretty much become their headquarters at this point. Brett hoped to get another record to his name, but this time around, he tried his luck at tossing a ping pong ball into a red cup from the greatest height. Sounds pretty impossible, right? The guys wanted to make sure they had all of their bases covered. So they used 1,000 ping pong balls each. And get this, they ended up making the shot from the catwalk of the arena. Pretty awesome, I know, but sadly, it didn't work out in their favor because the cup they used was 90 millimeters in diameter, and according to the guidelines, they were supposed to use one that was 85 millimeters in diameter. Yikes, who knew 5 millimeters could hurt so much? Still, fans are eager to see them make another attempt at this. They love the slow-mo shots of the ball falling into the cups. Many wish them luck for their second attempt, hoping they'd be able to add yet another record to their shelf. Apart from this, the group has tried its hand at several other records, including the world's highest bullseye. For one, they tried to throw darts at a bullseye from 150 feet. Now, I can't blame them for the fact that things didn't work out. After all, they were attempting that shot from 45 meters. And if that doesn't make things worse, they even had to tilt the board at 45 degrees just so they could get the board and then throw the darts. That's got to make things much harder, and yep, it did. The group tried tons of times, but still nothing reached the bullseye. It did come close many times though. At one point, the dart was only an inch away from the mark, which made things even worse. Of course, the trio tried its best to get probability over to their side and threw over 50 darts at the board at the same time. Now, statistically speaking, they should have hit the board at least once by now, even by mistake. But that didn't happen. And apparently, it's not like them to wait around for 25 hours or so to get the record. So they ended up calling it a day, promising their fans to return to this chapter once again. And who knows, if things work out, they might even throw the darts off a dam in Switzerland. Now that's gonna be cool. Moving on, because of their previous successful experience with golf, the group decided to give it a go once again, but unfortunately for them, it didn't work out as well as they'd planned. For this one, the guys were standing on top of a bridge around 600 feet high. The goal was for Scott Gounson to get a hole-in-one in 100 attempts while standing on top of the bridge, and even though the ball came pretty close a few times around, sadly, a hole-in-one remained an unrealistic dream. Still, chances are that the trio hasn't lost hope, and before we know it, we'll see them give this another go. So there you have it. From attempting a hole-in-one from over a 600 feet tall bridge to setting the record for hitting the longest golf putt, those were the most insane records How Ridiculous has broken.